Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. 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 Coming like a Hellcat.
a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. The girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their
Hello, all the viewers. We are back with fifth Chessbrainz Club Arena. I am Coach Abhishek, and we have Pratik sir with us. Hi, Pratik sir.
Hey, hi Abhishek, how are you?
I'm just doing amazing. I hope you are doing fine as well. So, are
Yeah,
you excited for our fifth Club Arena battle?
yeah, absolutely. Why not? All the last four tournaments were great, so I'm really excited for this one as well.
Absolutely. Currently, we have around 52 participants, and I'm sure within like 5 minutes, a lot of other participants are also going to tune in with us. So, the competition is going to be really, really amazing. We have addition of some new players as I can see in the list, and they are going to make it more challenging for the previous contestants.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Abhishek.
Yes.
I guess we are left with a
So,
minute, right, for the tournament to start.
yes, just 25 seconds, and we are
Mm-hmm.
all in.
Yeah, super excited.
Yes. So, to all our viewers, this is going to be a Bleeds tournament of 5 minutes of clock and 3 seconds of increment with each move. And that is all for now. And further, we will go ahead as the game begins. So, I think the tournament has already started. Okay. So, let's take the top board game. We request all the parents to type your kids' username in the chat so we can quickly go through it. Yes. So this game is being played against Sankit and Manvik, where Sankit is playing from the pieces of white and Manvik is playing from the pieces of black. What is your take on this position, Pratik sir?
It's an interesting position. Okay, both the players did the bishop fianchetto, right? The advantage with white is actually white has gained a pawn, okay, on b7. That's one thing, but white has actually traded the fianchetto bishop of black. So the bishop
Yes,
on g7, which guards the king, is no longer there,
exactly.
right? So
And
that is not the
there are
right way
dark
to
square
play against the
weaknesses,
fianchetto bishop. Yeah,
truly. Okay, the position is looking really stable right now. I think this is white will try to gain more space on the queen side, whereas black, we need to see how black comes out of the plan.
correct. Okay, actually gaining the pawn on e2 is quite good for black because that was the start of a pawn chain, right? The e2 pawn supports the d3 pawn, the d3 pawn in turn supports the c4 pawn. Yeah. So always try to attack at the base of the pawn chain.
That's really, really true. The base of the pawn chain is, the foundation of the pawn chain, and when it's gone, the rest of the pawns are going to be left weakened. So yeah, that's quite true. And we need to see now how this, the white, the going to handle this position.
Certainly, this would be an interesting game as both the players are quite good. Not much of a rating gap between the two players.
Yes, there's only the gap of 65, 66 points, so it won't make a big difference.
Correct.
But currently, I see that the d3 is actually a backward pawn in this position because it can't go forward to d4 and d5 to take protection from the friendly pawn. So this is
Correct.
going to be one of those things, and black can look to put pressure on this pawn using probably the knight, but they need to like find the proper maneuver to put more pressure on it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what black should aim to do in this position. See,
That's correct.
whatever will happen in this position, Abhishek, will happen at the queen side, right? Because I don't see anything happening on the king side of the board.
Yes.
Both the kings are very well guarded. Yeah,
And
but
generally the direction of the pawn chain decides the side of the attack, right?
yeah, yeah,
So as the pawn chain is pointing towards the queen side, so white has a clear intention to play on the queen side, and
correct.
we need to see how the black comes out of this position. In the meantime, we can go to a different game and we can take a look of that as well.
Sure.
Yes. So we are getting the first request from Nitelin. So we are quickly going to go through their account and see how are they performing. Okay. So Nitelin is playing as white, and they are taking on Siram, who is playing from black. When I look at this position, Siram has already the material advantage of 7 points. So
Correct.
white has lost their queen and black is still having it, which clearly shows the balance of the game towards the black right now.
True.
And it's just matter of exchanges, and I think black can easily convert or liquidate this position for their victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a
Well,
queen
would you like...
on both sides certainly helps, Abhishek.
Yes. Would you like to see how did the queen has lost?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be
Sure.
interesting.
So the game started with the Italian game, and there was the right break in the center by the white. Position looked very stable for both the players.
Mm-hmm.
Black had some kingside weaknesses earlier in the position after the bishop exchanged with the knight. I
Correct.
personally believe, okay, oh, that was a thing. It can't be avoided anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here, black did a discovered attack by moving their pawn to f5, and that was a silent attack over the white's queen. And then white did not speculated that properly, and they ended up losing the queen.
Exactly. Actually, the intention of white was quite good because white wanted to do a checkmate on h7 square, right? So the idea was good, right? But the execution matters the most, and white didn't see the discovered attack by the pawn move of f5.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, you always have to pay attention to your opponent's moves, and you just cannot you just cannot skip your opponent's move. It has to be one of the top on your priority list while playing the chess. And now let's see how does the game proceeds further. Okay, yeah, it is not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a clear-cut mating attack, right? Yeah.
Yes, black just have to swing their queen a bit, and they can use their the light square weaknesses around the white's king to get a victory in the position. It's like going to be quite easy.
Correct. So here I can see a mate in 3 moves.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, can you just go one move back, please, Abhishek?
Yes.
Yeah, queen d4 check. It's a forced mate.
Queen d4. Yes,
then
it's a forcing
h1.
line.
Yeah, king h1, then queen e4 check.
Yes, queen e4. Yes,
you
are moving towards your target with by taking the tempo. That's amazing. Yeah. Check, king goes there, queen e4, king goes back, and you slowly keep on moving towards your target with checks. I mean, this is a mate and one after that.
It's a direct mate, yeah. Third move is a mate.
It's a direct mate. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So white has decided to move their pawns away from the king, and they are hoping that this will work out for them.
Yeah. Again, I can see a queen to get the queen to c2, right? Get on the 7th rank, a battery on the 7th rank. Yeah.
That is unstoppable after that.
Correct.
There could be trades again, but then definitely black is better in it.
True.
They need white needs to lose a rook at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
mate into.
Yes. Okay. So good game by Siram, and all the best to Nitelin for their next game. We can head to a different one. We are getting a request from Kailash, so we are going to go through his game.
Sure.
Viewers, we request you to type your kid's username in the chat, and we will give you a glance of their game with a small analysis from our side. So Kailash is playing from the pieces of white, and Anshika is playing from the pieces of black. The rating is almost equal to each other. There is a difference of only minute 2 points, but the difference in the game is slightly better, and white is slightly doing fine here. White is exchange up. So let's see. This is also an endgame position, so it is going to be a fun for us to see this.
Right. So Abhishek, can you please explain to our viewers what do you mean by exchange up?
Yes. So, basically a rook is worth 5 points and a knight is worth 3 points. If your opponent also has a rook, we say the position is equal. You have a rook, your opponent has a rook. But in this position, opponent has a piece of 3 points, which is a knight, and you have a piece of 5 points, which is not a big difference, but there is a slight difference in the value, due to which we call it as exchange up. The let's To make it a bit more easier in my words, I can just say that earlier a rook from the black army has got exchanged for one of the piece of the white with the piece of with a knight, or let's say a bishop, due to which they have lost a rook while white is still having it.
Correct. Thank you so much, Abhishek.
Yeah.
So the player who has a rook definitely has an advantage in this position because rook is worth 5 points. It means the rook is more powerful than a knight generally.
Yes.
So the easiest way for white to win this game is to trade the queens and go to the endgame. Right? A rook versus
Absolutely.
knight endgame, 99% of the time white should win this easily.
Yes.
Again, this is a golden rule, right, Abhishek? Whenever you are up in material, try to trade the pieces, try to liquidate the position and move towards the endgame so that winning becomes quite easy for you.
Yes, that's true. And on the other hand, you see that black is avoiding the trades. Black is knowing this thing pretty well, that I have less material, so I do not need to trade.
Correct.
So let's see how the game follows up further. Now, one thing is quite sure at this point, that black is having a time crunch of 44 seconds, and we need to see how do they make out of this game.
Yeah. So mistakes are bound to happen when you are low on time.
That's
It
true.
happens at the elite level as well, right? So right now the Norway chess was going on. It just concluded yesterday. And even the elite top super grandmasters, they make mistakes. They do blunders under time pressure.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. Okay. Now, I think the black is about to run out of the time, so hard luck for them. We can go to a different game now.
Sure.
We are getting a request for Shazil, so I'm going to take one of his games.
Sure.
Okay, he's currently not contesting against anyone. He had one game, but he won. And once he gets paired up with someone, we are going to take his game.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, let's take one of the top board game. Currently, let's go through a game of Raghav Sharma. Raghav is currently competing against Abhi. Abhi is playing from white. Raghav is playing from the pieces of black. What is your take on this position?
Okay, so the first thing that I notice is the difference in material. Right, so black certainly has an advantage here. Black has a couple of rooks, while white has one rook. Okay, so when I see this position, black is an exchange up. And even when I count the pawns, black has 7 pawns on the board, while white has 6 pawns on the board. So white has an advantage here. Black has an advantage here. Right?
Truly.
Correct.
But
And apart from that, black just has to get the pieces at the center of the board. Black has to connect the rooks, get the bishop on a long diagonal, maybe fianchetto would be great. I don't see any trouble for black in this particular position. The pieces are nicely coordinated. Just trade the pieces, right? And the win will be easy. Okay, queen takes rook.
Yes.
Oh. So Abhishek, again the same thing happened, right? Black got a rook in exchange of a knight or a bishop. In an exchange of a bishop. So black should be really happy with it.
Yes. Black is doing absolutely fine.
Okay.
And another knight. So black is just crushing this position ruthlessly. Oh.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Quite interesting. Correct. But again, this should be easy, right? Rook versus bishop. Unless you blunder, you should win this game.
You should just play on the side of your majority the side where you have more pawns and just quickly get a passer and just queen up and win this position. There is
Correct.
nothing much left in it. And I believe that even if they sacrifice their rook for a bishop, I think still black is easily going to win this king pawn endgame.
If I was playing with black, I would have certainly traded my rook with the bishop because that makes winning quite easy, right? In this position,
Yes,
because you have like number of pawns more than your opponent.
truly.
So
It's just
simply
matter of
get-
some pushes.
yeah. Again, this is easy. Okay, you play anyhow in this position and you win unless you blunder. Yeah. Now that pawn seems unstoppable.
Yes. Oh,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Okay. This is quite easy.
Cool. So this is a clear win. We can head to a different game.
Yeah, maybe a mate in next 2-3 moves.
Yes. Yeah, just in few. Yes,
Well played.
that's true.
That was quite good.
Good game. Good game by Raghav. Parents, please type your kids' username. We would love to take you through your kids' game, and we would provide an in-depth analysis of your kids' game, which will help you to understand their gameplay and their play style. Okay, we are getting a request from Henel.
Yeah, let's go through the game.
Surely. So, Henel is playing from the pieces of black versus Sony, who is playing from the pieces of white. When I look at the initial rating difference, the rating difference is of 100 and around 11 points. And when I look at the position, currently, white is having a bit more material because I think black has lost one of their knights early in the game, whereas white is having both of their knights. Can you see this bishop placed on this diagonal?
Yeah, that's a monstrous bishop, right? Not allowing white to castle.
Yes. And
But in this way, b4 is a good move now. It
yes,
blocks the
b4
bishop.
is a very good move. Yes. Otherwise, white won't be able to castle on the king side. Remember, viewers, the passing square of the king and the landing square of the king should not be in danger by the opponent's pieces. Otherwise, your king won't be able to castle. These squares needs to be safe, which the king is going to utilize while castling.
So d4 seems good, right? Okay.
Yeah, d4. And black has played pawn to d6. In my opinion, it's just blundering a piece.
Correct. Black should have simply saved the bishop, right? By retreating, maybe bishop back.
Even, I guess, bishop to b4 was even a better move, pincerting this knight to the king. That could have been a better approach.
Correct. Each piece is important, right, Abhishek? The player should not lose his or her piece, right, without gaining any advantage.
That's correct, truly.
Because
Now
if you're
this
down
pawn
in
is-
material, it makes your life very difficult on the chessboard. It's very difficult
True.
to win a game of chess if you're down in material. So try to save your pieces. Look at the opponent's threats.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Now, I think black is fine after castle, white is going to castle, and the game will take a toll. We can take on one of the next requests that we are getting right now.
Sure.
Yes. So the next request is coming from PK underscore some number. So let me just type it out quickly.
Okay, I think you get it.
Yeah. Oh, they are currently not paired against anyone. They got 2 games and they have won both of them. But in the last game, their opponent did not make a move in first 30 seconds, due to which Leeches declared them as a winner. So yeah, that's the mechanism. So to all the kids, you need to make your first move in first 30 seconds when you get paired with your opponent. Otherwise, you will end up losing your game.
Abhishek, last time we got a request, I think for Henel or Hirel, and the game was...
Henel.
Yeah, okay. Can you just go back and we can see
sure.
the game started?
Yeah. Yeah. No, Henel was taking against Sony, I guess.
Okay.
I guess we have taken... Yeah. Okay, but we can still take a look. I mean, the position looks interesting, so why not? Okay, so
But
suddenly
there's a
now,
material difference, right?
truly,
Okay, and even the rook is gone.
even the rook is now gone, and yeah, they're attacking the
Okay,
queen right now and threatening a fork.
that is a smart move.
Yeah, and the bishop is yet hanging, which they have not recaptured yet. Okay, white has decided to simply defend, and I think bishop needs to fall in the next move. Oh, yeah. Black is going too aggressive, I guess,
Trying to attack the
because
queen
they're.
in each move.
But the white's king has been left in the center, and that could be the next target after the queen, as it seems. Oh! If the knight is gone, then there is a chances of a mate
Yeah.
in one.
Correct. So knight is the only piece that is guarding the bishop on e2. If somehow you
Definitely,
defeat the knight, you have a mate in one move.
absolutely, that's true.
Okay. Luring the knight into capturing the rook. If white falls for this, if white
Yes,
captures the rook with the knight, there's a mate in one.
yes, and this mate in one will end the white's game completely. We need to see what happens.
Even though white is up in material.
Yes,
But all those threats are looming, Abhishek. The only reason for that is the white's king is at the center of the board. Even though white
truly,
is up in material, there's so many tactics for it. There was no need, right, to give away the knight?
no, there was no need actually. Giving up the knight like this was not correct, because now the same queen is going to defend the e2
Correct.
focal point of the black, and they have made their own checkmate difficult right now.
Oh, yeah. Now it's difficult, right? Because you don't have
Yes.
enough pieces on the board to attack. Okay, now
What is the
this?
purpose of
The rook as well.
what is the purpose of rook d2? No, it looks like a clear blunder. Then they have recaptured the bishop, so I guess black
Yeah.
needs
so
to
now
improvise
the game
here.
is gone for sure.
Okay, we can head to a different game.
Correct. Don't
Uh,
give
we-
away any pieces for free.
Truly, we should not give our pieces like this. Okay, we are going to take the game of Abhi the champion. We are getting a request for them.
Sure.
Okay, the game has ended and Abhi has lost. So we are going to take. Okay, we are getting a request for Sanvi, but I don't know her username. So you need to type it down in the chat. Type your parents. Please type your kids' username properly, so we can quickly take you through the game without any delay.
Yeah, so in this case, a username is a leeches ID.
Yes.
The leeches ID that you're using to participate in this tournament, you need to type that leeches ID.
Even Shazil, we got a request for Shazil again, but unfortunately, he has again completed his second game where he lost. So let's take on the game
in
of
that case,
Hikaru.
Abhishek, yeah, sorry to interrupt,
Hmm.
Abhishek. So can we just quickly analyze the last game of Shazil? Even though the game is
Of-
not going on, but we can analyze it, right?
Definitely, there is nothing wrong with it. So Shazil was
quickly go.
playing from the pieces of white against Arna. She was playing from the pieces of black, and Shazil started with d4. The game ran into, I guess, a London system. Okay, so one of the things Shazil did is exchanging the knight for the bishop here, and then doubling the black's pawns, and then he immediately attacked on that double pawn. I think that was a good start in the opening. Then some trades, winning a free pawn, castle, everything went well for him. Even the black had the right middle game plan to attack on the queen side, which is how you fight London. So that was even good. From the side of Arna, she played fine there. But she was able to break open the queen side, and her rook entered on the second rank. I think that was maybe one of the turning point of this game. Then she took the rook back. There was a little bit of back and forth on both sides. Okay, here Arna sacrificed the knight on f2, leaving the e3 weakened. After king takes, there's a direct attack from... I think she found an entrance by breaking the pawn chain of London. She attacked the base pawns. That's a brilliant sacrifice by her. She
Brilliant. Yeah, that's
took the base
quite
pawn.
powerful.
Yeah. And she got an entrance after that. And Shazil could have taken his king back, but he took it to a bit open position, I feel so. Then that was even a fork that she calculated, but it was a part of her tactics.
Wonderful. Great sacrifice.
Great one. Yeah. And maybe she's able to do it because she's doing a lot of puzzles, right?
Yeah, she does.
Yes, that's definitely a case. Then Shazil went on the 7th rank, tried getting a fork, but it can be easily defended. Black defended it easily. And here Shazil took a pawn. I'm anticipating the kid might be under the time pressure because he took and he lost the queen, then he just resigned. So that's how the game went. I think it was a good start for Shazil, but maybe in the middle game he was meant to attack on the king side and he missed some ideas. And while Arna had a very brilliant calculation, very good strategy, due to which she outplayed Shazil, that was the case how he lost the game. We can go to the next game now.
Abhishek. So Arna's sacrifice, okay, knight takes f2 could very well be the move of this tournament. It was a wonderfully played move.
Definitely. I mean, how brilliantly she did it.
Yeah.
And Shazil is a federated player. He has a federating in the rapid and even in the standard. So defeating a federated player is not a small thing, and that too like this. So brilliant achievement by her, I would say. So currently we are taking on the game of Arush. He's playing from the pieces of black, and Atmika, she's playing from the pieces of white. We are into an endgame, and Atmika is having a clear queen with a pawn promotion. So this is the case right now. And white is having advantage. If you have the queen by your side, there is no way you can lose that position unless you really go wrong. So yeah, I think white is looking really fine and there's nothing much to explain here. Just matter of few moves.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Now you can just promote the pawn, right? And get another queen on the board.
Yeah, and that's not even needed. I mean, you can just do a king and a queen checkmate, which we teach our kids. Yeah. That's much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. But just be careful about stalemate.
Yes. Okay, this is going to be fun.
Now, there was no need of queen e2, right? Because your king comes out of the trap.
Yes. A general strategy is try to take the opponent's king to the nearest one of these 4 sides of the board. And in this case, it is the topmost one. So prevent their king from going opposite to your side where you want to take them. And when you go queen e2, the king can go to the opposite side from the nearest side of itself.
Oh yeah.
And now they decided to just get a queen. Yeah. Now it's just a matter of they can do the ladder thing.
Abhishek, but I really like this strategy. Instead of getting the second queen on the board, white player went with the rook. Because if you get 2 queens on the board, there's a high chance of getting stalemated.
Stalemate. True.
It's better to get a rook, right?
Yeah. And Atmika has got a big, buff in her elo right now. Of 33 points, which is a big number, I guess. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So let's go through the game of Samagra. We are getting a request. So
sure.
Yeah. Oh, Samagra has already completed the game, but we can give you a small glance like we did with the Sankit. Samagra was playing from the pieces of white, and Manvik was playing from the pieces of black. The game started with e4. There was standard development going well fine in the opening, so nothing much here to explain. We are in the Pierce defense. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay. If you have played b6 and then if you take this pawn, it won't be a poison pawn because when the rook gets the open file, they won't be able to take the pawn on b7. So that was a sneaky trap by Manvik here, and black actually got a pawn of position. Okay, black decided to expand the castle a bit. Black's castle is a bit compromised at this position, and pawn was hanging. Okay. White blundered their bishop on f4 on the move number 28. And I think that's where black got a slight edge in the game. And then black just decided to simplify the position by trading the rooks off, which was
Good one.
a very great strategy. They liquidated the position. And
Okay.
then,
And white gave away the rook as well for a pawn.
oh, yes, white gave away the rook. And then it was just matter of few moves for Manvik to win. And he maybe like made a queen and just simply completed into a ladder stuff.
Good game. Yeah.
Good game by both of them. Okay. We can head to a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So PK username belongs to Sanvi. It's her itself. PK010.
Sure. Let's go through the game then.
Yeah, why not? Okay. Yeah. So Samagra is playing from the pieces of black, and Sanvi is playing from the pieces of white. What is your take on this position?
This position is quite interesting, right? I can see material-wise, white is a pawn up, but again, that's not a decisive advantage. Why didn't white capture the rook on f8 and just go one move back?
Yeah, they could have done it.
Right? White should have simply get the rook. Rook is
Simply
worth
captured.
five.
And the white's bishop is also hanging, by the way, on c4. But yeah, they could have taken it simply without complicating the stuff.
Exactly. Because white is not losing two bishops. White is losing only one bishop for a rook.
Is it the case that white is trying some sort of, dark square weaknesses attack?
Highly possible. So get
Because
the bishop on
the
h6 and the queen on h4.
Yeah, I mean, see, the dark squares are currently weakened. The black's bishop on g7 is missing, which is the key element to defend any fianchetto castle. And due to which, okay, they played the queen to prevent the bishop from going there. So it is going to be fun to see how the kids make out of this game.
Abhishek, can you just go a couple of moves back?
Sure.
Yeah, Bishop g5. Okay, go next move. Correct.
Yes,
Then
bishop
black's
g5.
move. Yeah, black's move. Correct. And now why not play the bishop to f6? You can sacrifice your bishop on c4.
Yes.
Get white's bishop on f6. Right. Instead of saving the bishop, yeah, it's a mate, right? It's a force mate. How will you
It's a mating threat. Yeah, there's no way to save it. They could have just went for the mating attack.
You can sacrifice.
They could have
your
easily
light
done it.
bishop. Yeah. And it's a force mate. Oh, now there's a mate on white.
Yeah, and they have stopped it with f4. Then there is rook a8. Some moves have been played by both the players. White is playing pawn to b5. What is the purpose? Free pawn?
Oh no, get the bishop to b4. Yeah.
Improving the bishop with a skewer. Brilliant one. That was a great one.
And the player is finding the moves in no time. That's wonderful.
Like you are playing a bleeds game and you're still, finding brilliancy on the board. That's just not a regular thing for our kids. But yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, but whoever, Abhishek, our general observation is if the child practices puzzles on a regular daily basis, right?
Yes.
Solving puzzles is the key. If you are solving puzzles on a regular basis, your tactics are bound to improve. And you will find those tactics effortlessly when you are playing a game of chess.
That's absolutely
right? So
correct.
everyone, lots of puzzles every day.
Yeah, do more positions, do some endgame stuff, middle game stuff, take up, different motifs, tactical motifs, 4 pins. There are a lot of things you can do. And once you go through them, you'll able to recognize those patterns in your game and you'll have a great time.
True.
Okay, so after capturing the pawn on b7, the a7 pawn is now an isolated pawn. So that can be a target. Even the d4 is a target. So maybe the black can think about bishop b6, shutting down the open file.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to use your bishop like a pawn, but especially when you have so many pawn weaknesses, you need to think of some kind of creative defense on the board. Oh. The bishop has been blundered. Okay. I mean, a simple strategy for the white right now is whenever there is like a Fian Shadow castle like this, the pawn on g6 has traveled towards your pieces. So you can go h4, h5 and try to put pressure on this pawn. This is like a general strategy which we teach our kids. Then there can be a rook lift in the future and there can be easy positional play, but okay. Okay, let's go through a different game now.
Yeah, but this is a good game going on. Yeah, both the players are doing well.
Brilliant one. Yeah, they're playing a very decent game.
Yeah.
True. We are getting a request from Vlagi Vian. Yeah. So, okay. So Vian is playing as black against Nand D. They are playing from white. And
this looks
when I
dangerous.
Yes. Oh my God, white is just on.
Yeah.
White is just looking too strong.
How will you save a checkmate here?
There is no way to do so. Like you can push a pawn,
but next move is a mate.
It's a mate. It is an unstoppable mate. Because all the squares around the black king is well covered by the white pieces. And no matter how good you try, this is a position out of your hands. So kids have tried really well, but yeah.
And you know,
meanwhile, yes.
Yeah, this happened within 10 moves, right? The game has just begun and within 10 moves, the game is lost. And the reason for that, everyone knows what happens here. If you open up your king, right? If you open up the king side of the board, it's very difficult, right, to save the position.
Yeah. I mean, here basically they have tried a fried liver type of attack, as you said. And then basically the black refused here to do anything about it. And they just tried kicking off the knight, where the white managed to win this pawn and took on the king. King had to move. Yeah, and then just the pieces kept on dropping in one after the other. And there is no way.
But Abhishek, it was a very simple way, right, to save that fried liver attack. If you just go play a couple of moves back.
Like at this point, even if you manage to play bishop to c5, there is no fried liver because your queen is active on g5 and the knight can never jump in.
True.
So we often recommend kids when you are playing the Italian game, from the black side, develop your dark square bishop on the king side before your knight on f6. Because knight f6, your queen is blocked and then the knight can jump easily to g5. That is one of the core reasons.
Correct.
And yeah.
If you just go one move ahead, Abhishek.
Yeah. So like here.
Yeah. Then when white plays knight g5.
Knight g5 is on the board.
Yeah, exactly. Now the knight and the bishop both are targeting the f7 square, correct? So you have to save the f7 square. And the only way I see here is by playing the knight to h6.
That's true. That's absolutely correct.
If black had played knight h6, there was no way white would have captured the pawn on f7 because the knight on h6 is defending or guarding that pawn.
True. That's correct. So knight h6 could have been a beautiful move to provide additional support to the f7 pawn, which was being attacked twice and black was only guarding it once. The game proceeded and okay, now the black is yet thinking to get out of the position, but I think there's no way. We can take a different game for the time being.
Sure.
Because this is a concrete victory for the white. Okay, so we are getting a request from the Chris. Okay. Chris is playing from the pieces of white against Arjun, who is playing from the pieces of black. And we are just in the opening phase of the game. This has transposed into a Karokan.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
Okay, yeah. And then a sort of Queen's Gambit declined as well.
Yeah, if black plays e6.
Yes. E6 is going to be there because of the bishop, I feel so.
Yeah. So this is quite fascinating about chess, right? You start with one opening and then it can quickly translate into another opening.
Yes. And white knows...
I love this move, queen b3.
Yes. White is coming with a strong preparation. They know that if the black develops the dark square bishop, the b7 pawn will be left undefended, and I can go queen b6. I can support the attack in the center, plus I can target the b7 pawn. So this is a well preparation by the white right now. They're coming with an opening preparation.
Correct, but then you win a pawn, right, on d5?
Yes,
White will win a
we
pawn.
win a pawn. Yes, that's true.
So queen b3 is a powerful move.
Really strong move.
Yeah. Good move, yeah.
Great one. Now there are going to be some trades in the position, I guess so. If black wants to do it. No, black is avoiding and trying to go behind the king.
Okay,
But
now this
I
is
think
interesting.
they can.
No, if you had played bishop d2, then you're losing your knight on d5. So you have to get the knight back.
Ah,
Nice tactic.
okay. It was a tactical play. Well done, black.
It's a double
That
attack.
was a great one. Double attack. It was a double attack, and then
But white defended
position
it.
looks fine. Yeah, white managed to save the knight, which was in the threat, and with the king. Good game.
You
Okay,
have to get
looks
the
fine
king
right now.
castle, right? Never keep the king at the center of the board. There will be lots of tactics coming against you if the king is at the center.
That's true. That's absolutely correct. I think the development, case for the white is quite easy. You get your bishops on the 4th rank. You castle, connect the rooks. There is open C file. There's open D file. And then we find that this is an isolated queen's pawn position.
Yeah. Now you can develop a bishop with a tempo, right? Just give a check with the bishop. There was no need to trade the queens.
Yes.
So again, this is a lesson. If you are in an attacking position, if you feel that, okay, you are in a position wherein you can attack the opponent's king, why are you trading your queen? Queen is the strongest piece on the board, the most powerful piece. You need queen on the board if you want to do a checkmate, right?
Yes.
So
Especially when you're...
when you are attacking.
Yeah. And when opponent's king is in the center. If they have delayed in castling, then definitely you should not trade down the queens. There are chances you can end up creating an early mating attack on your opponent after you complete your castle. And white is going for a fork right now, a double attack. I think white looks really strong at this point.
Okay.
Black has managed to defend.
Correct. Oh, okay. Getting another bishop into the game. Good, good. You have to get the pieces into the game, right? Otherwise, how will you win?
Yeah. Okay. And maybe white knows that when the queens are absent on the board, it's okay to maybe not castle and just quickly get their own pieces into the battle. That's a great thing.
Now this looks dangerous, Abhishek. There are so many pieces attacking the black's king. You have 2 knights. Now another bishop will come into the game.
Yes. Oh, wait, what? Okay. Bishop is defending. Rook has... Oh. Now there can be a lot of things. Discovered attack on the rook.
Yeah. White is playing an aggressive brand of chess. White,
Yes.
So many pieces are attacking. Now where will the king go? The king has to step back. I think to
Step
d8
back.
Yeah.
If they go here, there is a fork, so d8 is the only option left. But after d8, we have the bishop check, right?
I think bishop b5 check is powerful. Bishop to b5.
Mm-hmm. But they can intervene in a lot of ways. Yeah.
But this
Again,
is
they'll
a
try.
game. Yeah.
This is gone. Now it's the rook is off the game, I guess. After the discovered attack. The rook is forced, then there is knight to d6.
No, actually, Abhishek, what I see here is instead of saving the rook, why don't you capture the white's bishop on a3 with your bishop? Black can simply capture the white's bishop, right?
Yeah.
And then when knight captures the rook, you play bishop b2 and do a fork.
That is correct.
There's so many tactics coming, because the king is at the center.
And white is able to achieve so many tactics in the position just because the activity of the pieces. They have
Correct.
almost not left any of their pieces on the last rank of the board where the game
Yeah.
started with.
How many times the rook will move?
That's true. That's true.
No, I think I think it was better for white to castle and get the rook into the game.
Yes, because the king is yet in the center and they might have achieved an early checkmate on the black's king.
Correct. But again, this is a good move because if you capture the knight, then I will take with the bishop, and then the bishop attacks the rook, and you cannot save the rook.
Correct. That's true.
So again, a good tactical move.
Great tactic. There is a fork as well.
Yeah. Tactics are flowing in this position.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to see what white is going to pick up for their own game right now. There are a lot of tactics for obvious, but okay, black has currently changed the square for the king. Isolated pawn. But yeah, white is anyhow doing fine.
I think black will capture the bishop.
Yes.
That is a better move. Yeah.
Better option. That's true.
So do we have any more requests, Abhishek, so that we can go to the game?
Yes, we are getting the request from Hikaru Bleeds. We'll quickly go through their game.
Oh, that's a fantastic name, right, to have. Hikaru.
Yes. Hikaru Bleeds.
One of the best.
Hikaru Bleeds.
Yeah.
Hikaru Bleeds is playing from the pieces of white and Manvik is playing from the pieces of black.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So when we look at this position right now, Manvik has again went into a Fianchetto castle, but the bishop is missing in the Fianchetto, so black has managed to exchange it. White has managed to exchange it. And when I look at the position, the white's king is still in the center, which can be a point of concern. I think black needs to break open the center quickly in order to go to the white's king and defeat them. I think that's the only way in this position.
Abhishek, how about queen to h3? Oh yeah, white played queen to h3.
I think there is rook h8. You can quickly meet up, especially when your king is on g7 and the rooks are connected, even after your castle. That can be used as a good side of defense. But yeah, obviously there is queen h6 and then.
Yeah, but now the rooks are no more connected, right? And
connected,
what would you do with the h8 rook now? You cannot.
There is nothing to do
into the game.
Yes, and there is Manvik managed to trade off. Wow, the kids are playing. But why are the kids playing so fast? Oh, it was a forced trade in this position, basically. So, yes. Even if the white won't trade, then the black is going to do it. So, they did. And then white decided to do one more rook trade because black must be getting an open file if they don't do. Okay, so the white has got a couple of pawns. Yeah, now it's super comfortable for the white in order to win this position. There's nothing left here for the black right now. Even the black has an isolated pawn on a7, which can be a target in the future. And positionally, I think white is doing really good. Nothing left in the position right now. Even white can just try to get an outpost, start exchanging pieces. Yeah, okay. White is doing fine. We can go to a different game. Okay, we are getting a request from Katwick.
Fine. Let's go through his game then.
Oh, I need to check his. Okay, I got his username. Okay, so Katwick is playing from the pieces of black, and Newborn Cantor is playing from the pieces of white. What is your take on this position?
Okay, this is quite interesting. Black is a piece up, right? But the thing is, it's not that easy because if you count the number of pawns, right? White has 7 pawns on the board while black has 4 pawns on the board. So the piece advantage is neutralized here. But any given day, Abhishek, any given day, anyone would prefer a piece compared to the pawns, right? Because one piece is stronger than 3 pawns.
True. Because the
Utilize
pieces
them.
have the tendency to move faster than the pawns, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And the pawns can become
True.
easy target with those pieces.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Correct. But this would be interesting, not that easy, right? Because white has a good
Yes.
pawn at the center of the board. And
Yes.
another problem for black in this position is the dark color bishop, which is on b6. That is a dead bishop for now. It isn't doing anything. You have to get the
Yes.
bishop into the game.
Yes. They need to find some way to get this bishop in the game. Otherwise, they are playing like a piece down position. Okay, what is white thinking here? Let's say takes. King has to step
capturing
here.
the bishop. I think capturing with the bishop is better.
Yes, capturing with the bishop is a better approach because we can create a sense of discovered attack as well in the future.
Yeah.
And then we can take, let's say, take this pawn and position looks quite good. Yes,
Yeah.
they have figured it out on their own. And
Now the king has to move. You have to
King-
get the king out of the line of rook. Good move.
and now the bishop can, I guess, come with the tempo here if that's the case.
Yes.
Bishop, dark
That's
square
a
bishop.
very good square for the dark color bishop, right? You have to somehow get the dark bishop, Abhishek, on
Yeah.
f4 or on e5.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
If the bishop
was-
managed to come here, then it's a disaster. You need to maneuver your bishop down right now.
Yeah.
White is looking... Yeah, white liked exchange, but black said I don't want, and black connected the rooks. So if,
Good move.
yeah, that was a good move, definitely. If you trade, I'll get the open file, so they are not ready to trade.
But now you have to save the pawn on f7. Two pieces
Yes,
are attacking that pawn.
Attacking, so we need to look after this guy first. Maybe just getting the other rook around is okay.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like
I
the
think-
light square bishop can't come right now, so other rook is... What did they play? They tried blocking the way, but what's the purpose? Like bishop can simply grab this,
But
and
then
we are
you
still into the
have-
attack.
But Abhishek, then you have bishop c7 check. I think
Rook
this
C-
is a good move. Or rook
Yeah.
c2. I think bishop c7 is also quite strong.
Yeah, this is also strong. So they did it in order to improve their dark square bishop probably. But they went with rook c2 in this position, and yeah. Okay, I'm waiting for the dark square bishop to join the party now. It has to come in.
But now rook takes f7 is again dangerous.
Yes, that's true. Oh,
Okay. Have the tides turned?
how? I'm just thinking. Oh, when the rook captured, this was an undefended rook. And then
Yeah.
when they gave a check, intermezzo check to win the pawn first, and then they recollected that rook. So there was intermezzo on the board, an in-between move where they won the pawn and then they took that hanging rook. Brilliant approach by the white. We need to appreciate that.
Oh.
But soon they blundered. I think kids have time. You have 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You can go slow. Why you have to play fast?
Yeah, in
There's
such
no need
crunch
to play fast.
positions, okay? Yeah, Abhishek, so in a position like this, okay, wherein you have to invest at least 10 seconds before making a move because this is a critical position in the game. If you make right moves, you win the game, right? So why are you not investing at least 10 seconds?
Some discovered attack.
Yes, good move.
Position is
Fantastic.
gone. Brilliant work. Black got a beautiful comeback in the game. Good to see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was a roller coaster ride for both the kids.
Roller coaster. Twists and turns all around.
Okay, but what about this now? What
Kids,
is
play
happening?
slow. You have got a lot of potential. Just play slow and you will show your, art to the world.
Wow. Okay, now everything has turned. Now I think this should be easy. Yeah.
How does... Oh, they did a discovered attack and black did not spot. Oh, it was a discovered attack. Yeah. Position was lost. Yeah. Fine. I think white is completely better now. Can there be a chance of the stalemate? No.
No, luckily no.
No. Okay, yeah. We can go to a different game. Good game by both the players, but play slow.
Yeah. So both the players actually they utilized the tactics that they might have learned in the class. They implemented those tactics well, but the only drawback was that they were making very quick moves, and while doing those, they did some blunders.
So they utilized the tactics, but not the time.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a
Okay,
lesson
let's
for them. They will improve.
let's take a game from the top board, I guess. Yeah. So we are into a rook endgame where Dishnovi is playing from black, Sankit is playing from white.
Mm-hmm.
And Sankit is a pawn up in this position, but it is not a easy game to go through. So we need to see how the game take a turn.
So the thing with Rook endgame is, Abhishek, even the top elite grandmasters, okay, they are not able to convert the Rook endgames easily. It mostly ends in a draw.
Yes.
So if both the players play accurately, the game should end in a draw.
Yes.
It won't be that
I think
easy.
Yes, it won't be easy. And especially even if it get converted into a king pawn endgame, white needs to be really careful because there can be a chances of the stalemate on the side of black because they're catching up the corner at this point.
Correct.
Oh, so now there was a chance of a double attack. Check. Okay, the rook king was meant to.
Oh, G6.
Beautiful tactic.
The game is over.
So here, black maybe could have went with rook f8. Oh, what?
What?
Yeah, they did not like. It was a mating tactic.
Absolutely right. Rather than capturing a rook, white did a checkmate. Wow. Even I didn't notice it.
I mean, I just want to say one thing. This is the beauty of a rook endgame. This is why it has a lot of leverage even on the elite level, as Pratik sir said. This is the beauty of a rook endgame.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, Abhishek, even I would have captured the rook on f7. Okay, it's so tempting.
Yeah. Yes, it is tempting. I did not even realize that. Brilliance. Absolute brilliance by Sankit and good game by Dishnovi as well.
Yeah, it was a very
We can go through a different game. Okay, we are getting a request for Dev Malluri. So we'll go through their game. And then we can like focus on the leaderboard. Yes. So Dev is playing from the pieces of white and Shehzad is playing from the pieces of black. And we are just in the opening, but the black has resigned. For what reason?
Okay, this is
No reason for resigning. Yes, maybe the king must have misclicked. Yes, I don't find any reason to just resign after the first move. Something else maybe? Okay. We are just left with 4 minutes. Okay, we can take one more game, I guess.
Yeah.
Should we take the best featured game by the leeches?
Sure, why not?
Yes. So, in this game, Sony is playing against Sanvi. Sony is playing as white. Sanvi is playing as black.
Mm-hmm.
And black has a bishop pair and white has a knight pair. The game seems really interesting right now.
Yeah.
Both have the good king safety.
Equal,
Yeah.
Check.
The black's king is a bit compromised. Yeah, there's a check. Oh, the bishop is gone. No, there is no way. The bishop is about to fall. It's a double attack, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Now you save your one of the piece and I'll take your other piece. So yeah, the game is pretty easy for the white right now. But what can black do in response to this is what I'm thinking after they take.
I think
can they try some king side attack?
It would be very difficult. You just have to get the rooks into the game.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do. But apart from that, now it should be difficult. Like I don't see a clear-cut plan for black here to advance.
Black to improve. Oh, what is the purpose of this? It's a pin. You're putting your own rook into your own bishop into the pin.
Correct. Now you cannot move the bishop.
True. I mean, this seems difficult.
Yeah, probably attacking the queen. Correct.
Yes.
But white will simply try to take the pieces, right? And just run into the endgame.
Endgame, yes. And their point is they want to collect some points. We are in the last 2 minutes of this tournament. Just last 2.
Can we go through the leaderboard once, Abhishek? Just
sure.
to see what's happening there at the tournament level.
So Sankit is leading the tournament with 33 points at the tabletop. And he's having the win rate of 82%. And he has berserked a 55 percentage out of his total games. On the second spot, we have Fardaan, like the previous tournament as he was.
Yeah.
He's having a win rate of 80% with 11 games, out of which he has won around some good number of games here. Like he has just lost 2 games out of 9, so out of 11, so 9 straight wins on the board. On the third position, we have Kailash Airport with 26 points. And he's also on the streak of 2 games right now. He is not currently paired with someone, so he will stay where he is. On the fourth position, we have Manvik with 22 points. Manvik is having a win rate of only 55%. And yeah, he's on the fourth spot. On the fifth position, we have a kid, Ribha. She has managed, Ribapo. They have managed to win all the games. They have just played 6, but they have won all the games in a row.
Wonderful.
And they're playing the 7th game, and I would like to just take a glimpse of this before the tournament ends.
Winning all the games is quite commendable, right? And we see that the kid has played less number of games. This shows that the kid is investing in time.
18
time.
seconds, and the kid is, the kid has gone. Yes. Yeah, so basically they managed to win their last game as well, and 7 games and 100% of victory on the 4th spot out of 70.
Super.
This is just on a brilliance. Is what I think. What
PK,
I'm going to say.
Even PK, right? PK underscore.
PK, yeah,
has won all
yeah. Even Sanvi, yeah, she has like managed to win the same number of games as of Ribapo right now, and both have just showcased that playing 7 games is enough to be on the leaderboard with 100% of win rate.
Super.
And here we have our final winners of the tournament. We have Fardaan at the 3rd spot with 80% of win rate, and he's on the 2nd position with 28 points. We have Kailash on the 3rd position with 26 points and a win rate of 64%, and Sankit with 33 points, 82% of win rate, and at the 1st position. So that's really great. Then we have Ribapo on the 4th position, brilliant play. Then we have Sanvi on the 5th position with 100% of win rate, great play. Manvik on the 6th position with 22 points. Katwick on the 7th position with 20 points. Sony on the 8th position with 20 points. Newborn Cantor with 19 points, and then we have Arav Shiv with 18 points. So this is how our top 10 looks like. We congratulate all the winners for making it to the top 5. Then we congratulate all the winners that you did not worry about winning or losing, and you participated in the game. You gave a good show to your opponents, and you took a lot of experience for yourself, which is definitely going to help you in your next tournament to perform better than what you are right now. And that is it for today. Thank you so much, Pratik sir, for having your time with us, and it was a beautiful one.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abhishek, for hosting this. I hope the viewers enjoyed it, and the kids will certainly learn a lot from this.
Truly. We request all the viewers, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like the stream. Share, please let your kid go through the stream after this, the stream ends in their free time, so they can learn something out of this. And that is it. We'll end the stream. Good night to all the viewers. We'll meet in the next stream.
Sure. Thanks, Abhishek. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.